Hey guys, it's me, Ollie, aka TNSAttitude, and I am back again here on YouTube.com for all things professional wrestling. Now guys, I appreciate it has been a minute since I've been here on YouTube.com. I had a little bit of a break. There wasn't really much to talk about. I appreciate the last video was really coming from a place to really talk about post-WrestleMania 41 and going forward. But, things are taking a bit of a turn. There seems to be a bit of a pickup there, a bit of shift, of course, towards Night of Champions and going on to, of course, SummerSlam, Evolution. There's so many PLEs at this time of year. It's crazy. They're absolutely stacked over there. But today, folks, I wanted to talk about On Location and whether I think On Location and the WWE Priority Pass through On Location is worth your time and most importantly, your hard-earned money in 2026 and beyond, and even this year. Because, this past year, I used On Location for the first time. Through my Las Vegas trip, I went this year through On Location. I booked the On Location pass actually last October the 12th, going through my emails just to go back and have a little look through the research and pricing and everything. October the 12th was actually when I booked my On Location pass. These actually went on sale before the Ticketmaster 2-day combo sale. And of course, this was the first opportunity to get any form of WrestleMania tickets for Las Vegas for this past year. Now, in terms of my experience with On Location, of course, with it being the first ever time I've ever used them, I would base this around a few things. Of course, price, value, what you got, and, go from there. But of course, I would say, from doing a few WrestleMania trips now, this was number 6. This was trip number 6. And doing this particular year, being in Las Vegas and trying out On Location, On Location really came around in, 2023 for the WWE. I know they've been around a lot longer. But of course, for the WrestleMania 39 back in the day was when they first came around, and that's when they did their packages. And I remember at the time I was like, oh my gosh, these are so expensive. I decided not to do that. Now, of course, I appreciate, I've heard feedback through On Location through the past years. My good buddy Sean Blackford used them for WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. Him and his whole family used On Location. I believe they did the Gold Pass. They got a lot of stuff included. They got meet and greets. They got the 2-night combo for WrestleMania, of course, at Lincoln Field. But of course, I had heard good things and I thought, well, Las Vegas, let's try something a little bit different. And of course, when I saw the prices, now bearing in mind, and I don't know how things will work this year, but of course for WrestleMania, when those prices first dropped in October for the general, for On Location, For the Silver Pass, I didn't think they were that bad, and this is why I snapped and jumped and bought a ticket when I bought one. I bought a Silver Pass, and of course this right here, guys, this is the lanyard that I got. Now, of course, all lanyards will come with any priority pass through On Location. You'll get these when you pick up your credentials, when you are going in for your trip, whether that be a Saturday night's main event, a WrestleMania, a SummerSlam, whatever. You're always going to have this kind of thing going on, so they can organize and they know what fan is coming in with what badge, what lanyard. And I like that. I thought that was organized. But in terms of to break everything down, and whether, if you're a new time fan and it's your first ever WrestleMania trip, whether I think these are worth your time and money. Well, I'll be honest with you, and I think I said this in one of the last videos, at the end of the day, TKO's WWE, the prices are just going higher and higher if you are doing your general sale. If you're doing Ticketmaster.com, the combo tickets for these shows are not getting any cheaper. You might want to wait it out if you really want to play the long game and play a gamble. And that's something to always bear in mind. If prices don't sell, they usually do come down. But in terms of this as an option, I think that On Location, in the current climate of booking your tickets, booking your wrestling tickets for anything WWE, I think they have their place in the market now. I really do think they have their place in the market now. From the experience that I had, I would definitely recommend them, and here's why. So to break this down for you, my On Location Silver Pass came to $1,100. Okay, $1,100. That's how much it came to. There was no Ticketmaster service fees on that. There was nothing. There was no tax. It was a straight sale. $1,100. That's what I paid, and that came to about 820 quid. Okay, that is what I paid for my WrestleMania 41 Silver Pass through On Location. Now, what did that include? Well, that included the following. That included, of course, night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania 41 in 400 level. Now, Allegiant Stadium, bearing in mind that is again going to be next year, well, I'll be honest, level 400 is solid. It's not a bad part of the stadium to sit. It's pretty high up, but you've got everything that you would want up there. You've got all your drinks. There's a good concourse, plenty up there, and they've got it all over the Allegiant Stadium. So yeah, you can't go wrong with it. I do think for a first timer or somebody that is trying to do it on a bit of a budget, you know, you're not going to get away from certain prices now. At the end of the day, TKO will do what they need to do to really make WWE make money, and they're going to push prices where they can. Now, look, I'm not saying that this is going to be what I paid last year. Of course, things are going to increase, but of course, obviously put this back on just so I'm getting back into the mix of today. But like I say, 820 quid, British, $1,100. Night 1, night 2 of WrestleMania 41 also included, of course, the early entry. You could get in. Didn't actually use that because by the time I got there, it was almost time to start. This also included a WWE World Friday through Sunday. That is what it came with. But, I'll be honest with you, the world stuff really, I felt, unless you were buying your tickets and you were buying pro ops and pro photographs, there wasn't really a lot to do there. I think I've mentioned that on another video. But I think for a first timer, this is definitely a good option. That is my honest opinion. If you have never been to WrestleMania before, you've never booked a WrestleMania trip, I think On Location is definitely worth it, because you're going to get a basic WrestleMania ticket for night 1 and night 2. You're not going to have to worry about those Ticketmaster fees, which can really launch a price into a different place completely. It's one price. You've also got, of course, as I say, you've got the WWE World stuff through this. If you are a first timer, you probably will want to throw out some money on some meet and greets if that's what you're into. I only really used this for my Sunday pass to meet Stone Cold, which I thought was worth it. Also, other good little things about this. You get a queue cut with WWE World, which is really nice. When you're getting in, the entry is good on that first day. You get into the Superstore quick. I mean, the queues were absolutely crazy in the Las Vegas Convention Center, and I was able to just go straight through with this. It was like a super fast pass, which I think is good. And on that first day, it's definitely advantageous, especially for like Superstore. If you want to be in there on the first day and you want to grab what you want and be in there nice and early, it's got a good pace to it, this. So yeah, I would recommend this. Other things to talk about. So, of course, the pre-show hospitality side of this thing. They always talk about pre-show hospitality. I know that the Gold Pass had a pre-show hospitality with John Cena and Bret Hart. Champion Pass, there was like golf with The Miz. There's all sorts of crazy stuff. And, these prices are a lot higher than what I paid. What I paid really didn't even touch the surface. I mean, 820 quid compared to paying $5,000+ on a gold, nearly $10,000 on a champion package, and even higher than that. I mean, even now for SummerSlam, what are they, like 40 grand to sit like ringside, is it? It's insane. But it's dynamic pricing in terms of what they think people will pay. But what I found with these, there was a lot of level 400 level at the same price, and then when they sell some, the price goes up. When they haven't sold many, the price drops, and that's what you get. But of course, about the pre-show hospitality, it was at the Grand Prix Plaza. I'd imagine they will most likely use the same place again if they're doing Las Vegas next year, of course. I feel like that's where they'll do it. And that was a good vibe, There was a really good vibe in there. I got in that Las Vegas Plaza, or the Grand Prix Plaza. I got in there about, 2 o'clock? And, I missed a bit of it. There was a bit of a clash because I did go to WWE World in the morning to meet Bayley. But to get over there, it had a good vibe in there. And I met 6 wrestlers included in this. I met Karrion Kross, Scarlett, LWO, that was Cruz and Joaquin Wilde. and I also met Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. So I got 6 meets, and that was all included in this pass. Now, bearing in mind, when WWE World, everything is very much premiumized. The only way you're going to meet wrestlers is through buying either an autograph ticket or a photo op ticket. You see what I mean? And to give you an example, like Karrion Kross and Scarlett, just for a pro op on the Sunday, that was like $55, $65. So that is what? So you add those up, at least you're looking at like over $300 for all that meet and greet. So you throw that into this, you put that on with you took that off the $1,100, that takes it down to $800. No, yeah, like $800. You can see what I mean, there's value there. Also, food. I stocked up before SmackDown. I got my lunch there. I pretty much had my dinner there. I just kept having food. It was great. They had little beef ragu sliders, little burger sliders. They had all sorts. I even kept one of the napkins. How about this, guys? I thought I'd show you this. Look, my little Priority Pass little napkin. They had these all over there, and they were really, really cool. You know, there was definitely cool. They got a good vibe. There was some dancing. There was these Las Vegas dancers, entertainment, really good vibe, good music. They had a DJ on. There was a nice atmosphere in there. Definitely what I felt WWE World was lacking on that Friday, and it just felt easy to just go in there, jump in a couple of queues, meet some wrestlers. It was just instant. And that's what I really feel they were trying to go for, was like, hey, you buy this, it's exclusive, but you're actually going to get something here for your money. There was an open bar as well, which was really cool. I had 7 bottles of Coors Light. I mean, it was great, you know. There was drink. I had 7 beers. And again, that adds up. You know, you buy a beer in any stadium now, what are you paying, like $10, $12, $15 for one beer, you know? So I was happy to just rack up those beers. I went back for as much food as I could get. I had a nice on-location donut, which tasted amazing. They had there was these little like ribs from what I remember. It was just great. There was all this, just so much food that they kept bringing out. And I just think for what you would pay in a stadium for dinner, or, you know, because everything really, these long days during WrestleMania trips, they are long and they are grueling. And I'll be honest, this particular day, I was up a long time. I was up like 23 hours, because this is the day that I did this. I met Bayley, went to the Grand Prix Plaza, did the Silver Pass welcome party, then got back, went to Friday Night SmackDown, came back, then went to the Hall of Fame, didn't get back to my hotel till 3 a.m. because Triple H does a super long speech. So you see what I'm saying, guys? This has its place. I think, as I say, I don't know how much these are going to go up to for WrestleMania 42, but of course Triple H likes to double down on everything, so I would expect everything's going up, and the price for this will most likely shoot up where they feel they can do it. But all in all, folks, I think it was worth it. Oh, and also I got to make some new friends, which was cool. Big shout out to, of course, Jose and Jesus from Puerto Rico. Those guys, they were really cool. Love those guys. And they, of course, went to this as well. So it was just really cool to actually meet some new people as well. So that was awesome as well. So it's the community side of this thing as well was great, to just gather with like-minded wrestling fans. But yeah, all in all, guys, I feel On Location, definitely worth it. I would say if I do SummerSlam for 2026, which will be Minnesota, I am looking at going. So I would most likely use these again for SummerSlam in particular. In Minneapolis, I think I'll do it through On Location. I just think you're getting everything you need for that one price tag, which I think is fair, because, you know, looking at even like your WWE World stuff, it was like general admission for World was like $70, $80, which was pretty high, and that's only what was like 70 pounds, sorry, to my American subscribers. We say quid is slang for pound, but you know. But yeah, as I say, folks, first timers, bear them in mind. They have their place, depending on what you want to do out of your WrestleMania 42 trip. Think about it, folks. But on that note, folks, as I say, it's nice to be back. And I'll see you all down the road for another video. And also, before I go, if you guys got any ideas of any videos you'd like me to do in the future, let me know below this video. I'll try and come up with some new content between now and August. I'd like to hear what you want to talk about. I'm here. That's what Cody Rhodes says. What do you want me to talk about? Because I'm here you pick my brain. If there's anything that you'd like me to shoot on, I'm here to talk about it, guys. But as I say, don't forget to comment, subscribe and like. And as I say, final verdict, On Location, definitely worth it, guys. I'll catch you all soon for all things professional wrestling. Take care, everybody.